Moving on, we are going to do the operations, especially with the numbers. So with the booleans, you wouldn't really be performing calculations with them, or you wouldn't really be doing calculations with your strings either. So we're mainly going to focus on the numbers that we have. Let's say you want to add two numbers together. We have our first number, num1, let's say equal it to -5, and then we have a num2 that's equal to let's say 13, and then we can have our results equal to num1 that's plus num2, right? And then we can print out results. So now if we print this out, it would just be 8 because 13 minus 5 is 8. And we can also do our basic operations like minus, it would just be -18, and then multiply together, it'll be like 65. Oh yes, -65. And then division, here is where it will be a bit weird, because you see it's going to be 0 point something, but a integer, as we said above, it can only be a whole number, so it just automatically rounds down to 0. So in Vex we normally use doubles. So doubles is basically a number with decimal points, and it uses a bit more memory, which means that it allows us to store a way larger number compared to a float. So that's why doubles are quite a bit more useful. So let's say we have double num1 equals to, let's say 10.5, and then double number 2 will be 3, right? So if we have results equals to num1 divided by num2, then this will perform the calculations as if we are on a calculator. So these are the basic operations that we use, and there are a bit more other things that we want to talk about. So let's say you want to have a counter, just a counter equals 0, and you want to make it just increase by 1. So you can do a thing called counter plus plus, right? So now this, and we print the counter out, we set it to 0, and then we have a counter plus plus that basically increases its value by 1, and now we have 1 when we print it out, right? So you can copy this multiple times, right? And then the indent is a bit weird, but now this should be 3 because you add itself onto itself 3 times. Okay, but let's say you want to increase its value, let's say by like 3 each time, right? You can either do this, so counter equals itself, right, its previous value plus, its current value plus this, plus a number that you want. So then your new counter, like the counter, will be your previous counter adds 3, right? So if we do this like a bit more times, right, this will basically become 9, right? Because every time you're adding onto itself by 3. Okay, so here's a little life hack. So if you don't want to type this, like counter plus 3, there's an easier way to do it. You can just do plus equal 3, and this will have the same effect, right? right? It's the same thing. So this operation, like these like plus equals, it works with the other types of numbers as well. So if we go minus equals, then it will minus itself by 3 every time. See, it becomes negative 9. And if we go multiply, okay, we need to change this to a non-zero number because 0 multiplied by anything is still 0. So let's say if we have 1, then this will be 27. And if we do division, it also divides itself by 3 every time, right? But since this is an integer, it becomes 0 again. So let's say we put this to a double, and then we print it out again. You see, it gives us the decimal points as well. On a side note, the way C++ calculates numbers is basically the same as BEDMAS. So let's say we have 3 numbers here. Right. So if we wanted to add the first 2 numbers together and then divide it by the last number, typing and then divide by 5, divide by num3, it will actually perform this calculation first before doing this. So if we run this will actually calculate this first and then add it onto this, because in C++ it follows the math rules rather than the way that the code is written. So if we run this is 17 indeed. It is 10 divided by 5, which is 2, plus 15, so that's 17. So if we want it to be 150, 25 divided by 5, we have to put a bracket here, so then it calculates this first, and then divide it by 5. Right, so 25 divided by 5 is 5 indeed. So that's basically all you need to know for basic calculations and operations of variables in C++.